So what's up guys, LazyNeil here, and today is going to be a little bit of a different type of video because yeah, the emulation video is taking quite some time to make that possible. But I'm going to be making a video on basically reusing these two components. Now these are from my old laptop. This is a 1 TB hard disk and this is a 512 Crucial NVMe SSD. Now, if you knew from my previous videos, I tried to add this on this laptop, but sadly, as the form factor is different, I could not use this. So I said, rather than collecting dust, why don't I repurpose them into something which I may use in the future? So the reason I'm making this video is because I know that many people do have a spare hard disk or NVMe lying around, and what should you do with them? And that's what I'm trying to answer in this video. So I got two packages over here. One is this one and one is this one. First of all, this one is the Orico 2.5-inch hard disk enclosure. Basically, it takes in this hard disk and makes it external. Now, I do have the previous version of it. So this is the previous version. I have another 1 TB hard disk with the awesome transparent enclosure. And you basically get this USB cable over here. It's USB 3.0. But what I hated about this hard disk is the fact that it has this connector. This is one of the worst connectors, and it's like, the worst child when it comes to the USB standards, and I genuinely hated this. But it does work till now, and Orico is one of the good brands you can trust of having a good reputation on, a hard disk enclosures. So that's the reason why I bought this one. So this is the better Orico 2.5-inch hard disk enclosure. And the reason I bought this one in particular is because of this. Let me just open this up. You must have seen this over here. It has Type-C port. So this is how it looks. To be very honest with you, I don't like the design of it. My previous one looks so much better. But that's what I got. But it does have a Type-C port right over here, which is pretty dang cool. To install this is pretty simple, but before that, I just want to show you what exactly you get inside of this. So you get is this Type-C to Type-A port. You get this one, and also you get is a user manual, basically. I really don't care about this, but that's what you get. Now let's open this up and basically get this arrow over here. I don't know if you can see that properly, but you get this arrow. Just push it this way and then you get this. Now you get this foam thing over here. Now the foam is basically to keep the hard disk intact. So you can just push this in and add this foam like this, and then just enclose this whole thing in, and that's about it. Pretty sleek, pretty clean, and really nice. Now the reason I bought this one, by the way, you get a Type-C to Type-C also, but the reason I bought this one is because I genuinely don't have a cable with Type-C to Type-A. I have a lot of Type-C to Type-Cs for some reason nowadays, but I didn't have this one, so I said, why don't I use it? Because pretty cool. Because Orico also gives good cables. They're not some cheap ass cables. Other than that, this sorts my hard disk issue. So I'm going to be doing some testing a little bit, but I just want to show you all this package. This is more interesting than this one because again, this is just a hard disk enclosure. That's about that. What this is awesome. This is, if you open this up, you get a lot of stuff. And let me just pick this up. Okay, first of all, you get these brackets. You get some tools. This is one of the most smallest, tools I've seen. It's pretty cool. I really like this one. You get some screws, and then this is the main star of the show. This is a PCIe to NVMe SSD thingy. Also, if you want any of these, both of these things, I'll be putting them in the description down below. You can check that out over there, and you can purchase this if you're having spare stuff like I do. So what this basically does is that it basically just takes this NVMe drive. You can shove it inside like this, and then you get a screw in this bag. I think it's this one. So get a screw, just plop in the screw and then add it on your computer. Now, I don't know if you know about it. Yes, I do have a laptop, but I also do have a PC. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be repurposing this into a scratch drive for editing. So my current, my current storage one, the SSD which I use for storage is a Samsung one, but that's only 250 GB. So I said rather than reformatting that and doing nonsense over there, because I'm pretty happy with the install and stuff like that, what I'm going to be doing is basically I'm going to be using this as a scratch drive for when I'm making videos. So basically just copying all the contents on this drive solely and then use it from there so that my main storage, which is just 250 GB, doesn't get filled up. So let's do that right now. So for this, again, you get this nice little packet, and let us just open this up. And you get this nice dinky ass screwdriver. It looks pretty cool. And this is the screw which you want. So what you do is you just put this screw in. Hopefully it's not too bad. And then you can just screw this in. That's about it. So yeah, so let's continue with the video. And yeah, the screw just fell. The screwdriver just fell. But that doesn't matter. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these from one of these two. By the way, this is for a smaller PC, smaller form factor PC, and this is for what I'm going to be using because I have a full PC tower. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be attaching this like so. I think it's this way. Hopefully, yeah, it's this way. Just going to be attaching that, and then I'm going to be doing two things. That's the reason why this laptop is there. Also, I'm going to be using the PC. So I'm going to be doing two things just to show you all. I'm going to be using Crystal Disk Info, and I'm going to be using Crystal Disk Mark to show you what are the performance you can get from both of these things. Now the Crystal Disk Info is because I just want to show you all that you can check your hard disk health, because if you buy, say for example, you buy something like this, you buy a hard disk, but you buy a hard disk enclosure and then you have a spare hard disk, but if the hard disk's health is bad, then it's not worth buying this. So you can test it out before buying something like this. So let's do that right now. Let me just add these two screws in, and we can start with the benchmarks. So let me just do that quickly right now. So all you need to do is you just need to screw these two things in, and that's about that. I think I'll require a different screwdriver over here, and let me just get that quickly right now. Okay guys, so I got the screwdriver and I'm just going to be screwing this in. There we go. Let's put the other one in. And hopefully this works, by the way. I've not tried it at all. By the way, both of these hard disks are kind of empty because I've seen that, at least before I, before the laptop went poof, I seen that after removing the SSD and the hard disk, I just cleared it out so that there's nothing inside of it. So that's about it. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this screw over here to attach it to my PC, and that's about that. So before I attach this guy, I'm going to be doing a Crystal Disk Mark test on this hard disk and this enclosure, and let's see how much speeds you get. Keep in mind this is a hard disk, not an SSD, so that's about that. So let's start with that. Okay guys, so I got the camera a bit closer so you guys can see a bit better, but not as close because I wanted to show you all this. So I have connected the the Orico hard disk enclosure with the type C to here. So this is just a type A port. So I've done that. And over here, you get basically this light over here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just unplug this quickly. So I can just show that to you. Yeah, I think so. You get this here. If you see over here, you get a light indicating that it works. So that's about that. And the first thing which I just wanted to do is that again I have run Crystal Disk Mark couple of times on this channel, but I just wanted to give a kind of a 101 on what exactly the numbers mean. But before that, I just wanted to show you this one. This is called Crystal Disk Info, and if you say yes, you basically get a nice thing like this. Just get this a bit closer. I don't know if you can see that properly, but basically what you require is this value over here called good. By the way, this is the internal laptop's SSD. Again, not as important, but what is important is this one. This is the one which I have over here. Again, it is an old hard disk. So it has a power count of 330 and power hours of 5560. It does matter, but what matters the most is this. If this is good, you're good to go. And if you have anything in red over here, that means it's not worth getting a hard disk enclosure or any of that sort. So anytime you are even buying, say, a used hard disk, I would suggest never buying some used components in terms of storage. But even if you are buying it, I would suggest use this tool to check if the status is good. If the status is good, you're good to go. So that's about that for that. And now let's move into Crystal Disk Mark. So over here we have Crystal Disk Mark over here. So what exactly these things mean? First of all, I just want to showcase what they what they mean. Basic. By the way, this is my drive over here. This is the hard disk drive E. It has basically nothing inside of it. And what these mean. So this one is called the first one is basically the theoretical speed. It's the most fastest speed you can get from this drive. The second one is a realistic of the same one. So if you're getting anything close to the theoreticals, you're good. Then the third one is the random read and writes. So this will be like the worst case scenario. And the last one is the minimum you can expect from this hard disk enclosure or from this hard disk itself. If you put an SSD inside of it, like a SATA SSD, obviously you're going to get faster speeds. So again, it depends on what kind of storage you have. One thing I didn't do is always keep in mind if you're doing a hard disk, a hard disk test, put it to default rather than the nvme. That's only for nvme, the nvme test. So go to settings, go to default, and then run. So let's start. Okay guys, so the test is done. So first of all, I just wanted to clarify what this number is. So this number is basically, say in this case 5, is basically tells you how many times the test runs for each of them. So these are the numbers, by the way. So the first one is 148.38 and right is 141.77. Then the sequential 1M is 146.90 and 140.52. If you see, it's pretty close, so which means it's good. Then the next one is 1.07 to 1.16, and these are the 4K reads and writes. And then the worst one is around 0.42 to 0.86. So again, keep in mind it's a hard disk, so that's basically what you can expect from this enclosure. Cool. And next thing what I wanted to do was basically do a copy test. So here I have is a 2.88 gig file. So it's drive E, and let's paste it in. I'm not going to be, okay, I can wait for it. So it's around 130-ish. And let's copy back. So let's copy this and let's go into videos and let's paste it here. And over here also you get a pretty good speed. Again, this is just one file, so if you copy multiples, that's where the 4K read and write is. The speeds are going to be slower because obviously it's a spinning hard disk at the end of the day. But this looks very good, for me at least. Again, it's a hard disk. So yeah, that's about it for the Orico. So now let's go to the next one, which is this guy. And let's add this to my PC and let's see what kind of speeds you can expect from this kind of jig. It's pretty cool. So yeah, let's continue from there. Okay guys, so just to make my life a bit easy, I removed that a part over here so that it's basically looks like this. So I've just removed it. Yes, my PC is extremely dusty, but it does work. So that's about that for that. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be putting this in the last slot over here. I don't know if you can see that. Horrible camera angles, but hopefully you can see something at least. Cool. So yeah, I've put it now in. Let's just push this in. And let's add the screw, and I think we're good to go. Cool. Okay guys, so I have attached the screw and things like that, and let's start the PC itself. So there we go. I don't know, it's very blurry because of the tempered glass, but that's what it is. So let's move on to the to the PC itself, and let's run a crystal disk mark, crystal disk info, and hopefully it's good. By the way, if you see there's a green light over there, that's from the from that whatever that board is, which converts the nvme to PCIe. So if you see a green light, that means it's good to go. Cool. Let's move on to the PC itself right now. Okay, so guys, I'm on my desktop right now, and I have Crystal Disk Info over here. So this is the one, by the way. This is the 5.8 GB, as you can see, PCIe, and NVMe, and it has power on hours of 1349 and power on count of I think it's 898. So what you require to know is that it's good, so which means it's good to go, and there's no other issues with it. So this is a very good NVMe SSD which I can use as a scratch type. Again, I knew about this because yes, it's from my old laptop. Cool. So keeping that in mind, let's look at Crystal Disk Mark. And here I have over here. Let's switch the settings to NVMe, and let's run this right now. Okay guys, so the test is completed. So here are some of the things. So the sequential, okay, I think the screen just went off. Cool. So over here we have 413.96 and 406.67 for the best. Over here we have the sequential 128K, which is 4014 or 414.38, 407.06. This is the 4K, which is around 406.95 and 326.83, and 4K random, which is the worst one, or the minimum you can expect is 56.09 and 97.58. So that's about that for the theoretical stuff and basically the disk mark itself or the benchmark itself. And now what we're going to do is let me just get the same copy, the same file, that 8K file which I had, just getting that up, and we'll just copy it from the SSD. So I have a SATA SSD over here, not an NVMe, so just bear that in mind. So from a SATA SSD to the NVMe PCIe thingy which I've just installed. So let's just do that right now. Okay, so guys, here we have is the file itself. So it's the same file, 2.88 GB. So here is my SATA SSD. This is my boot drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be copying this, and this is the NVMe. So as you can see, it's pretty much empty. So let's paste it in, and let's see the speeds. Whoa, that was some some really fast speeds. So that was that, and let's copy this back into here. So let's delete this, and let's paste this in. So as you see, it's freakishly fast and more than what I require. And yeah, that's about that. So let's conclude with the video on what do I think about both of my purchases. So first of all is the hard disk enclosure itself. To be honest with you, it doesn't look that good. It is pretty durable. It is really good plastic, but I really like this awesome transparent look. But other than that, it has a Type-C port, which is way better than whatever this garbage is, and it works fairly well. Keep in mind it's a hard disk, so the speeds are going to be lower. If you put a SATA SSD inside of it, it's going to be much faster. Apart from that, to be honest, the most surprising was that PCIe to NVMe conversion thingy, which was really good. If it breaks or anything, I'm going to be making, I'm going to give an update maybe in the future videos if it breaks or anything. But for now, I have trust in Orico, but the other one, it's really good, by the way. I have no issues with it at this point of time. But again, this is just day one, and hopefully there's no other. Other than that, I'm also going to be making a video on this. It's going to come pretty soon. This is one of the best power banks you can buy for the price. So this is an Nbrain 25,000, I think. Yeah, I think it's 25,000 milliamp hour power bank. You see over here. And the best part is that it can support up to 100 watts PD. So what I'm going to be using this for is twofolds. Number one is to charge my phone itself, which is the S21 Ultra. And the next thing I'm going to be charging is this laptop. So it can do both of them at the same time, which is freakishly awesome. It has these two things. So expect a video on this soon. And yeah, if you want to purchase this, I guess I can put that also in the link description down below. But again, wait for the video for this. And I feel this is one of the best bang for the bucks to an extent power banks you can buy for the price. By the way, why 25,000? Why didn't you, go for something higher if required? Because of the flight constraints. If you go into a flight and if it's more than 100 watts or around 26, 27, you're not allowed to take power banks. So keep that in mind when you're ever buying a power bank. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This wraps it up, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.